Happy Tuesday, guys. Welcome to another edition of PuckTime, Playoff Edition PuckTime. Stanley Cup Playoffs are heating up. Second round of the playoffs. Only one game on the card tonight, but we're going to talk some series prices as well, too, amongst a few other things. The Prez is joining me today. And then tomorrow it is Brian Leonard and Don Buster with the most highly anticipated series, the Montreal and Buffalo one. And we're going to talk about that series price a little later on in this show. But before I do that, we got to bring on the Prez, fresh off a slam dunk, easy 5% play winner last night in the NHL.
Never in doubt.
A little worried.
Never in doubt. Come on, Carm. They went 2.5 periods scoring one goal. Why would I be worried? 2.5 periods, one goal, please. So the under was a foregone conclusion.
It certainly was. I didn't answer any of your text messages because it would have been like a continuous message after message after message.
It hasn't been like that in years, in a year, dude. Yeah. This whole year has been much better, man. Much better. Yes, I was on the under in the Carolina-Philadelphia game. 3 goals scored in the first 10 minutes. Then the game got bogged down, but it was still an exciting game. It was a fun game to watch. Philly really had an opportunity, an overtime breakaway. They mucked that one up. It was actually a horrible breakaway too. Put all his weight on his right foot, which tells everybody that the shot is going up. So the goaltender is no idiot. You can't do that. That's not going to work.
Yeah, no, it was a good game. Philly played a lot better. They responded to that game one embarrassment and played a lot better. And we'll talk about whether Minnesota can respond to that as well, too. But Vegas Golden Knights get it done against the Anaheim Ducks. Unbelievable goaltending in that one. Lucas Dostal kept them in the game. Kind of like Dan Vladar yesterday for Philadelphia against Carolina, Prez. He played exceptional. He played much better than he did in games 4 and 5 in the Pittsburgh series. And even in game 1 where they seemed unprepared or maybe just having beaten their rival, the Pittsburgh Penguins in the last round, they were due for a bounce. So that did happen. They bounced back, but still lost to Carolina 6-0 thus far in the playoffs. And I'm going to talk to you about some series spread prices later on, Prez. But before we do that, I just want to mention to the guys, it is $5 Tuesdays over at WagerTalk. Cappers with $5 plays across multiple sports, whether it's hockey, whether it's basketball, whether it's soccer, whether it's baseball. There are a ton of plays up. It's affordable. And WagerTalk does that for you. And you know what? All we ask in return when we do stuff like this is for you guys to hit that subscribe button. Look at this. We are at 247,000 subscribers. We're almost at 250. Get us to 250. If you haven't already done so, hit that subscribe button. If you have a troll account, log into that one and also subscribe from that account. We don't mind where it comes from. Get us to 250. Prez, what you guys have done and the video team, especially almost 250,000 subscribers. I remember just a little while ago, it was 100K.
Dude, we were happy at 8K. So yeah, it's been an unbelievable ride. Shout out to the entire team and all the people that do the heavy lifting in the back. We're almost at 250,000, but trust me when I say this, the second we get to 250,000, the road to 500,000 begins, because I don't I don't stop, Carm. You know me. I'm ambitious as shit. Anyway.
All right.
I gotta. You want to talk abs? Yeah, let's talk some abs.
Yeah, let's talk abs. So, I'm going to ask you this as I have a look at what time we're actually discussing this, and 4:35 in is not too bad. Prez, so we talked about Philadelphia bouncing back off that embarrassing game 1. We've seen quite a few teams off embarrassing losses bounce back. Is it one of those things that Minnesota is playing? I don't want to call them the wounded duck, but they went into the Dallas series and not many people gave them a chance. Now they come into the Colorado series. They won that one. Obviously, they bounced. This Minnesota team is too good to allow 9 goals in a game in the NHL. And a lot of them were 5-on-5s. There were only, one power play goal, one shorthanded, one empty netter. Of the 15 goals, only 3 came in situations that it wasn't 5-on-5. Now the Wild are plus 163 in the series. Well, 3. You would think when there's 15 goals, there's a ton of penalties and power plays. That wasn't the case. 1 power play, 1 shorthanded, and 1 empty netter were the only goals scored that weren't 5-on-5. So that's the point I'm trying to make here. Now the Avs are minus 201 off of that. Are they overpriced here?
Carm, I'm looking at the total here. Sidewise, I'm really struggling. I would probably lean slightly on Minnesota at plus the 163. This Minnesota team is really, really good, and they match up well against the Avs. You got to throw game 1 away. I wrote a free pick on the under, and I'm going to get into a deep dive on the under for you on this show. But in my under free pick, I literally talked about these anomaly games. What do you do, when 2 teams that normally score 20 goals in a game score 2? Well, those are the anomaly games. And here we have, a Colorado Avalanche team, 36-49 to the under on the year. You ask the average person, do you think Colorado Avalanche games play to the over or to the under? And they would tell you the over because they will mention Nate McKinnon. They'll mention Cale Makar. This team is obviously stacked and loaded with offensive talent, but it's simply not the case. This team has played to the under all year, 36-42 to the under. You want to get some perspective about how often this team plays to the under? Take out the 6 goals they allowed on Minnesota, and their games before that, 1, 2, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 3, 1. In the 7 games prior to the anomaly known as game 1, they allowed 1 goal, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, and 0 goals once. So 6 out of the last 7 games prior to the 9-6 win, they allowed 1 or less goal. 6 out of 7, Carm. And it's not like Minnesota is a scoring juggernaut. I look at Colorado tonight, and I think they aren't letting in 6. And I look at Minnesota, and they're definitely not letting in 9. You take apart this Minnesota team, from a defensive perspective, they held Dallas to 2 goals. 2 goals in their last 3 games. All games that Dallas had to win. We saw Minnesota go through stretches where they were shutting out teams night in, night out. Both of these teams have great defense, good goaltending, and both of these teams want to stifle the offense. I look at Minnesota, and I think we're going to get a low-scoring game that will help the Wild. I like the under in this game. It almost made it as a client play. I'm actually passing tonight, but I like the under. It's my favorite play on the board, and I do lean slightly on the Minnesota Wild, and I would guess a 3-2 overtime hockey game.
Yeah, this game to me, and we'll see how it plays out tonight, Prez, but this game to me almost feels has the same feel of how Carolina's game against Philadelphia was. Philadelphia embarrassed in game 1 off an emotional series. Minnesota embarrassed in game 1 off an emotional series. Philly bounced back. They ended up losing the game, but they had numerous opportunities to win that one.
They did.
And they could have. And this is why I think the Wild are a live dog. I don't think the Avalanche are going to run the board and go 16-0 in the playoffs, just like I don't think Carolina is. So at some point, these teams are going to lose, and we look for it to happen on the road, but it could very well happen at home. Minnesota beat them during the regular season, and I get it. Regular season is completely different, Prez. But 4 games during the regular season, and to your point of the total, 3 of those games went under the total. Minnesota played well, and I think they split the series 2-2. But the only game that went over the total had 7 goals, and 3 of them were scored in the last minute. 2 empty netters, and then one by, I believe, one by Minnesota in a 5-2 victory. So goals have been hard to come by between these two teams. I think that one game is an outlier. I think you just draw a line straight through game one, and start the series here. So I'm with you on that. So with that said,
wait, I do want to add one point. Sorry, you used the word outlier. I used the word anomaly. Same thing. I do want to point out that Minnesota is 50-35 to the over on the year. But what I want to say to that is 90% of their games have been 5.5 and 6. So when you're looking at teams and you're saying, oh, this team plays to the over all year, you change their total to 6.5, and they are not playing to the over all year. So I just wanted to lay that out there, because I know it's just easy to say, hey, 50-35 to the over. This is an over team. It's not true. To give you perspective, they have not had a 6.5. The last 6.5 was in Anaheim, April 14th, and that was the only 6.5 in their last 10 games.
Yeah, and I'm going to get you that number in a second. But before we do that, I got to ask you about this series. So, and we look at right now, let me just pop it up there. Here we go. So let's forget about the series price right now, because the Avs are already up 1-0. But let's look at the spread betting. Now, I've taken one of these, and I'm likely going to release it as just a very small client play. But is there anything that stands out to you there? If you think the Avs are going to win it in 6, then obviously the -1.5 is a good one. The graphic is incorrect on the Avs. The one it should say -2.5 is +120, not +2.5 games. So I didn't catch that when I did it. But for you guys out there, I do get the graphics wrong every once in a while. Any of these stand out to you?
Yes, Carm. I think the fact that you can get the Wild at +2.5 with -145 is a pretty small amount of juice for that type of a bet. They need to win 2 games. We know they're going to play 3 more no matter what. And if they win 1 of them, then it's 4 more. And if they win 2 of them, we cash our bet. So I think the Wild are going to make this a series. I think everyone has to throw away the last game. And also, just to let everyone know, the last game, from a metrics perspective, was very even. It wasn't at Minnesota was 0-3 on the power play. 0-3. They're going to get it done. Colorado was 1-2 on the power play, which is really crazy given that there were 15 goals scored and only 5 power plays in the entire game and only 1 power play goal. I mean, that's just wild. And that should just continue to demonstrate what an outlier that first game was. I think Minnesota is too good to be swept. I like the +2.5 -145. I like it a lot.
All right. That is the play that I took, the +2.5. I think that's why I got +2.5 twice down there, but +2.5.
Yeah. I did not know that. I did not know that. I didn't. Yeah. I didn't.
But I do think that the series goes to 6 games, and more so if Minnesota somehow pulls off the slight upset tonight. Prez, to your point, and I think it's a good one that you made, talking about totals and looking at like Minnesota totals. So here are the numbers during the regular season. You talked about Minnesota being an over team as far as like when running the numbers, but as you mentioned, a lot of their games are lined at 5.5. They averaged over 82 games this season. Their games averaged 5.9 goals scored, and their record with a total of 6.5. If the total was 6.5 in every single game, they would be 30-52.
Yeah, exactly.
And the Avalanche are one worst.
Can you slack that to me, please?
Yeah. And the Avalanche are even worse, 28-54 with a 5.9 goals per game average. So I get it. I think it's an overreaction to game 1. as far as the six and a halves. But I get it. It's the Avalanche, and everyone figures they can score at will. But that doesn't happen if the other team, Minnesota, actually plays a good defensive game. And I'm thinking that's going to happen tonight.
The only thing that worries me on this under, Carm, is the power plays. 1 for 5. It feels like there might be 7 in this game and maybe 2 power. Prez has a 4.5 height average. What the hell does that even mean? Pocket surprise. What? Okay.
I don't know. Listen. Okay. Let's move on. So we want to talk a series that, oddly enough, starts tomorrow after Carolina is already up 2-0 in their series. But it is the Montreal Canadiens and the Buffalo Sabres, and I'll get the odds up in a second. But guys, on this show, there's 2 Montreal Canadian fans, Don Buster and Andrew McInnes. And Andrew and I are going to have a gentleman's bet on this series because this is what we do. We're not going to get into the ring, and I'm definitely not going to get into the ring with that referee in there. He looks a little sketchy to me. He might be one of those.
He looks like a Habs fan to me.
He does. He's got that look.
Yeah.
But let's look at this price on this one. This one's split down the middle, which I get. While I understand it, they think these teams are on par level during the regular season. Only 2 points separated them. Season series, I think the Sabres took 3 of 4, or they split during the regular season. But with that said, -110 here, and the Sabres have home ice. Who do you like in this series?
Carm, they did split. They went 2-2 in this series this year. I like Buffalo here, Carm. Montreal showed me a lot in Game 7. They showed me that they can't get the puck on net, and they need unbelievable, the hand of God, force majeure is what they needed to win that game. I think they did match up well against Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay, I think, is old in the tooth. I think this team is slow, and I think Montreal's speed and swarming ability was really able to match them well. Also, Montreal is a counter puncher, which matches up well against a Tampa Bay team as well. Now they play a team that can match them speed for speed, and I think this Buffalo team is better. I think defensively, look, Lane Hudson's going to be a beast. I mean, I think he's going to be a top 10 defenseman in all of hockey within a year, 2 years, maybe now. The rest of the defense does not line up as well as the Buffalo Sabres defense does. I think Buffalo's got a better first line. I think Buffalo's got a better second line. I think Buffalo's got a better third line. I think Buffalo's got a better fourth line. I think Buffalo with home ice advantage can win the series. I do think it goes 7. I think it's going to be really fun hockey. It's going to be very fast hockey. But I do think Buffalo at -110 is the play here, even though, and we must not forget Suzuki, Caulfield. There's a ton of guys on this team that still made a Stanley Cup run in the COVID days, 1962, I think it was. I like Buffalo here, brother. What I'm mostly curious about is whether these games are going to play to the over or the under, because I think Buffalo wants to play fast, and I think Montreal wants to win 1-0.
I think Montreal is going to try and do what they did to Tampa Bay, but Tampa Bay and Buffalo are 2 completely different teams. The Sabres, I think, played a more disciplined style of hockey, especially during their great run from December on. Now, Roy asks, I'm not a Habs fan, but there's a path to get to the Cup. Yes, StubHub. StubHub is how the Montreal Canadiens get to the playoffs.
Boom, mic drop.
Boom.
But Roy also asks, but isn't the whole country behind them, Prez? And the answer to that is, you've got 2 Canadians on this channel right now, and neither of us are cheering for the Habs. Hell no, the whole country is not behind the Habs. I'm telling you guys right now, I was cheering for Buffalo and Vegas to make the cup. I am now cheering for Carolina and Vegas to make the cup. Somehow I've decided to enter the Carolina bandwagon only because, man, this team has been knocking on the door for so long and they are so good. And Carm, I actually do think if any team can get to the cup 12 straight wins, I think it could be this Panthers team. This Panthers team is Hurricanes. Canes. This Canes team is unbelievable, dude. They're Freddie Anderson's stick work, and I don't want to talk about a goalie and his stick work. The dude released a breakaway last night. I am really, really high on this Carolina team. And Hab says you suck, Prez. I'm like, okay, I suck, baby.
We're never going to agree on the same things on the show as bettors, as handicappers, because as Teddy Cover says, without differing opinions, there is no market if we all agree on the same side, right? So I get it. And when you have favoritism, obviously Habs fan is a Habs fan and doesn't like your opinion that they're not going to win. Opinions are like belly buttons. We all got them.
And with all that said, it's like all I'm trying to do is find winners. Like I honestly flat out don't give a shit who wins the Stanley Cup. Like I don't care. Regretfully, I am a Leaf fan, and I honestly don't care. Like, and Roy is putting Montreal went 2-1 against Carolina this season. I want to stop right there and just say this: I had Carolina's goaltending in my fantasy pool, and it was the reason I lost my fantasy pool. Carolina, prior to the playoffs, were a whole different team. This team now, this team is putting up historically defensive numbers in the first 6 games. This is not the same team. But hey, look, I like this Habs team. Carm, you know how much I hate the Montreal Canadiens. They're like I have a towel that I wipe my with the Montreal Canadiens insignia on it. I despise this team. Yet, I like this iteration. They're fun to watch. They're happy. They look like they're having a blast. They're well built. I got no issue with Montreal. I'm okay if they win. I'm okay if they win at all. I don't care.
Yeah, they're a better version of the past couple of years, and I think that's adding Nicholas Ehlers, Seth Jarvis, that goal he scored yesterday. You could see he was pumped.
Oh, with all his friends in the building. Game. But I'll tell you, Nicholas Ehlers is a game-changing pickup. And Logan Stankoven, the rhymer, the man with the rhyming name. I mean, my God. This Carolina team is so good, Carmine. They are so freaking good.
Yeah, no, it'll be interesting because they're going to be prohibitive favorites, obviously, regardless of who they meet, the Sabres or the Canadiens, if they get by the Philadelphia Flyers, which they should at this point.
Yeah.
But I'm all for upsets, whether it's Montreal that does it, whether it's Buffalo that does it. My question to you is game 1 tomorrow. It's not. I'm not asking you for a play on game 1.
Buffalo
in a series that you think is going to go 6-7 games. If the Sabres win tomorrow, would you take the Montreal Canadiens game 2 or vice versa? Take the game 1 loser to win game 2.
Yes.
Okay.
And Montreal has been very impressive on the road. Or was Tampa Bay just that bad at home? Because keep in mind, Tampa Bay only had won 1 home game in the last 3 or 4 years. So I think they were like 1-13 or something like that.
Yeah. Guys, I want to mention it's $5 Tuesdays over at WagerTalk. There's some great deals within it. 3-day all access, $49. It's $20 lower than normal. They have the $100 off a 30-day all access. And with the Prez running
it's crazy.
On Fuego, I would like to promote myself. I'm doing well. 7-2 run in the NHL. and World Cup right around the corner. Can't wait. There is actually a World Cup package going up, $149 for all the World Cup plays over at WagerTalk. No coupon needed. And I want to remind you guys, anyone who picks up the World Cup play, just message the office as well too. They will give you the code to get into the private Discord channel. I'll be posting some halftime plays, some in-game wagering that I can't just do on the site because there's just not enough time. But in the Discord channel, if you're part of my clientele, you'll get the play right away. It'll beep onto your phone. So with that said, Prez, what do you got to promote?
Dude, I mean, I came on yesterday, and I want to say that I had close to a record-breaking sales day yesterday. So many of you guys jumped on my 5% under in the Carolina game, and I'm telling you, so many. If I read a list of the names that purchased my play yesterday, we would be here for a long, long time. So I'm shouting you all out. I'm so genuinely appreciative that you trust me enough to take your money, buy my plays. And when we win together, oh my God, it's like, imagine having 12 wives and it's bedtime. That's the type of feeling. Now, with that said, we won our play yesterday.
Actually, I'm going to interject for a little bit because people don't understand how much you bleed sometimes on these plays. Because I'm the same way. No one likes to lose the 4%, the 5% plays. Guys, just imagine this. This is if Prez was to lose his play. You upgraded on your flight across country. You're in row 1. They just serve you a nice glass of Prosecco. And then in C2, the lady has a child who starts screaming and crying for the next 7 hours. That child
is me.
Is you.
If I lose a play for my clients, yes. But it's so true, Carm. Listen, I'm one of the owners of WagerTalk, and I can tell you flat out that everybody at WagerTalk hates losing. Everybody. Carmine is right up there as one of the worst. Brian Power, interestingly enough, does not take losing well. Nobody takes losing worse than me. Nobody. Let's get, with that said, I won my play last night, but I did lose my baseball total. So my perfect 13-0 run, 13-0 run in baseball in totals has come to an end. I am now on a 13-1, 17-2, and 21-3 totals run. I say that with a smile because I can't freaking believe it. I am 65% in all total bets since January 1st. I'm 11-3 in baseball totals on the season. I have my first 4% total, first 4% baseball play. It's a total, but I've not had 1, 4, or 5% baseball play this year. 90% of my plays are 2 and 3% plays. 90%. So I have a 4% total in baseball up tonight. It's $5. Let's get to it. I'm passing in hockey, but I really like the under in the Colorado game. And of course, I will have one basketball play up, and I am destroying the NBA playoffs. I'm destroying them. I'm absolutely kicking ass. So I'm in a good mood, Carm.
I know you are. It's much better than if it had gone the other way. You would be kind of in a sour mood. I get it. But I also appreciate you filling in. Brian Leonard was supposed to be on today.
Absolutely.
He is on tomorrow.
One thing. I'm getting off this show in a minute, and I'm going to tape the best betting show ever. I just want you guys to know that we are releasing our second ever song on the best betting show ever. We are releasing it today. It is called One Woman Guy. It's a song about Art the Caesar and his desire to remain a one-woman guy. It releases today. Make sure to watch the best betting show ever today. Sorry, Carm.
No, all good. Wanted to put that graphic up there again, guys. Get us to 250K.
Yes.
share the page with some of your sports friends. Have them click on the subscribe button, and we'll get to that 250 before the week is up. Absolutely awesome. Okay, myself, one play up in Champions League action that goes this afternoon. You can get that for $5. It's a 4% best bet, and one play in the NHL tonight, which is also a 4% play as well too, and that's $5. I'm currently working on World Cup plays, not game plays, but props and futures, and some are loaded already. So anyone who takes advantage of that World Cup package, or anyone who purchased the Cup to Cup special, you should be getting those plays in your email box. So with that said, Prez, appreciate you coming on. We'll see you on Thursday.
Slack me those total info. It's gold. This was a really good show, dude. Thanks for having me on.
All right. For myself, the Prez, and WagerTalk, guys, thanks for tuning in. Hit that like button, drop a comment in the comment section, and we will see you on Wednesday. Brian Leonard and Don Buster in the hot seat with me. Talk to you later, guys.